वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि नः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
श्री परमात्मने नमः।
परमात्मने नमः।
अथ पंचमोऽध्यायः।
अथ
अथ
पंचमोऽध्यायः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनय एव ते
ये हि
हि
संस्पर्शजा
भोगा
भोगा
दुःखयोनय
योनय एव ते
आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः।
आद्यन्तवन्तः
आद्यन्तवन्तः
कौन्तेय न
कौन्तेय
तेषु
न
रमते
तेषु
बुधः।
रमते बुधः।
संस्पर्शजाः भोगाः दुःखयोनयः भवन्ति। अतः बुधः तेषु न रमते। आद्यन्तवन्तः ते अतः बुधः न रमते। अविद्याकृतत्वात् दुःखयोनयः। भाष्यं भाष्यकारः said अविद्याकृतत्वात् इन्द्रिय संस्पर्शेभ्यः ये भोगाः भुक्तयः जाताः ते दुःखयोनयः एव। दुःखयोनयः आद्यन्तवन्तः आद्यन्तवन्तः इत्युक्ते तस्य आदिः भोगानाम् आदिः भोगानाम् अन्तः इत्युक्ते अनित्याः। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः पायिनः अनित्याः अनित्याः ते अतः बुधः न तेषु रमते इति श्लोकस्य अर्थः we have seen iti bhashyam also, simple bhashyam only. Now we will read from Gita Priyabodhini. Nanu bhagyasparsheshvasaktatma ityukti itiktihi anapayukta brahmavidah kale vishayasukam api astu sukam brahmam cha api asti iti ashankayam na. An objection and the answer. Bhagyasparesheshu asaktatma, previous shloka. So Brahmavidaha for a Brahmavid or Brahmavidaha for a person who wants to know Brahma. Brahmavidaha is the meaning of Brahmavidaha in this context because Vishesukam astu, let Vishesukam be there, then Brahmam Sukam api asti. So both Sukhas are there. Iti Brahmavidaha kale in time, the person, if a Brahmavid doubts, Doubts arises for a Brahmavitu who is not upayukta, who is not fit, who has not yet become fit to discover the fact that Brahma Sukham alone is Sukham, that Brahmavidaha Vishesukam astu, Vishesukam api astu, that Vishesukam be the Brahmam Sukham cha asti, iti ashankayam. So therefore he acknowledges Vishesukam and this Brahmam Sukham api, iti ashankayam, if doubt is raised, then for that objection, we say no. Vishesukasya adyantavattvena. Vishesukam has a status of being adihi, beginning, and antaha, ending. Arrival and departure is there for Vishesukam. And also dukkhatvat. Dukkhavatvat. It is dukkhavatvam, not dukkhatvat. Dukkhavatvat. It is dukkhavantaha. It gives only dukkham. And alpatvat, it is alpam. Alpam is that sukham is alpam or alpatvat, small in magnitude, alpatvat, and tuchatvat. It is tucham, insignificant, tuchatvat. Tatra atmatattvagnyaha na pravartate ityaha. Therefore, atmatattvam yaha janati saha atmatattvagnyaha saha na pravartate. Therefore, a wise man or a person who wants to be wise, wants to know Brahma, wants to know Atma, that person should not pursue Vishesukam. So three reasons are given: Dukkhavatvam, Alpatvam, Tuchatvam. So Dukkhavatvam, Sukham is there, Dukkham is more. Alpatvam, it is transient, temporary, and Tuchatvam, compared to Akshaya Sukham, it is Tucham. Therefore, na pravartate. Atmatattvagnah na pravartate ityaha yegisan sparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavantakhavantaya nateshu ramate buddha iti. Yehi iti. He is yasmat karanat, for the reason samsparshajaha indriyanam vishayanam cha samsparshaha, contact of the indriya and indriya vishaya, indriya and indriyartha. Paraspara sanyogaha, mutual contact, tasmat eva jayante, yasmat tasmat. When indriya and indriyartha, indriya vishaya, they come to contact, paraspara sanyogaha yada bhavati, tasmat jayante samsparshajaha, born of the contact of the sense organs with the sense objects. Indriyartha samparka sambhavitaha, samparka contact. Indriyartha objects. Sambhavitaha born, jayante, jataha, born of the contact of the indriya artha. Ye bhogaha, those enjoyments, pleasures, they are vishesukani, te adyantavantaha. They are born, they arrive, utpatti and vinashavat. Utpatti vinashavantaha. They are produced in time and they go away in time. Atayeva anityaha. Therefore, only anityaha. They are not permanent. Kshanikaha. They are momentary. Samsparshajaha iti janyatva hetuna eva anityatve siddhe punaha adyantavantaha iti vacham nirartakam iti namantavya. Samsparshajaha already told. Why adyantavantaha? Samsparshajaha iti janyatva hetuna. It is born. Janyatva hetu, because it is born. Therefore, that which is born will be anitya it is in there when it is established. That which is born is anitya, temporary. Therefore, adyantavantaha should be anartakam, that vachanam, that one more word is niratakam, is meaningless, not required. Iti na mantavyam, should not think. Why? Because tarkikaihi, nayayikaihi, those use tarka, those use tarka, yukti, tarkikaihi, not nayayika, tarkikaihi, those who by their tarka, by their yukti, those who analyze. For them, tradvamsa bhavasya, janyatvam nityatvam cha angikritam. Pradvamsa bhavasya, absence after destruction. Nayayikas, there is Nyaya philosophy. Nyaya philosophy is different, but the methods what they adopt. So this word is Pradvamsa bhava, is all words used by Nayayikas. Their method of analyzing a thing is useful. Prag abhava, Pradvamsa bhava, Atyantika bhava. The abhava is also a padartha, they say. So pradvamsa bhavasya, dvamsa is destruction. Absence after the destruction. Absence of a thing after destruction. It means after it gets perished, it is no more available. Tarkikagi pradvamsa bhavasya, janyatvam nityatvam cha angikritam. They acknowledge that after it dies, again it is born, and therefore it is nitya iti angikritam by them. And mimamsakaihi api, mimamsaka also, akshayam havai chaturmasya yajinaha sukrutam iti tajjanya sukasya api akshayatvam urarikritam. Mimamsaka also, there is a vakya in the Veda, akshayam havai chaturmasya yajinaha, those who follow the chaturmasya vrata, starting from Guru Purnima, the four fortnights. That the result of that is that the sukritam, that punyam is akshayam, imperishable. Iti, there is a vacuum. Tajjanya sukasya api akshayatva, the sukam which is born due to the following of this chaturmasya vrata, that also akshayam iti urarikritam, it is svikritam, it is accepted by urarikritam is svikritam ityartaha, by mimamsakas. So tan nirasitam, in order to dismiss that, therefore, adyantavantaha iti yuktam. Therefore, adyantavantaha, the word is used. Iti Gita Priyabodhinikara says. Just giving two views. One is Tarkika views, other one is Mimamsaka views. So they may, this view, because of these views only, adyantavantaha iti, they have used. Even though sansparjidaha, the word itself indicate anityaha, punaha adyantavantaha iti shabdasya prayoga, edadartam eva, for this purpose alone. Therefore, tena vishesukasya kshanikatvam alpatvam cha, it is momentary and it is alpa, it is very little cha, pratyakshadi pramana siddham, vishiyendriya sanyogat purvam, tad viyogat pascha sukha adarshanath. The Vishaya Sukham, which is kshanika, momentary, and is alpa, very insignificant, and it is pratyakshadi pramana siddham, well established by pratyaksha, etc., pramanas, by the pramanas like pratyaksha, etc. Vishaya indriya sanyogat purvam, before coming into contact with the sense organs, and after that, tad viyogacha, after tad viyoga, sanyoga viyoga, contact and engagement and disengagement. So, paschat, before contact, there is no sukham. After contact, that is, once There is no samsparshaja, there is no contact, there is no sukam, sukha darshanat. So therefore it is kshanika. Vishaya sukam is kshanika and it is alpa. Because before sanyoga it is not there, and after yoga it is not there. Therefore in between alone is there. That is what Bhashyakara says, Madhyavarti. It seems to be there in the beginning. That which is not there before, which will not be there after, in between it is there, means it is also not there as good as not there. Therefore kshanika. Ye adyantavantaha bhogaha, those bhogas which are adyantavantaha, which has got a beginning and an end, they are dukkha yoneyaha, dukkha hetaha eva. They are the causes for the dukkham bhavanti. Swakarana nashe, swanashe, swakarana asiddhau, swa asiddhau cha, yasmat dukkham eva prayachanti. When the cause is destroyed, the effect is gone. Effect is also swakarana nashe, swanasha bhavati. Swakarana asiddhau. When the cause itself is not established, effect is also not established. Therefore, Yasmat Dukkhameva Prayachanti. Therefore, these bhogas will give only Dukkham. You cannot establish the existence of this Sukham because Swakarana Asiddhau Swa Asiddhaha. Swakarana Nashe Swanashaha. The cause for Sukham is the contact. So when the contact is not there, then it is not Nasha Bhavati, that they are the causes of Sukham that would go away. So therefore, when cause is destroyed, effect is destroyed. Swakarana Siddho, Swa Asiddhocha. When the cause is unestablished, the effect also remains unestablished. Therefore, Yasmat Dukkham eva prayachanti, therefore gives only Dukkham. Tadidam Sarvaloka Prasiddham, and it is Loka Prasiddham, well known in the world. Tasma, therefore, Vishesukasya Sapekshatvam. It doesn't have Nirapekshatvam, Sapekshatvam, dependency. It is not there always. It's got Sapekshatvam, dependency on many factors. And it has got Kshanikatvam, Alpatvam, Dukkatvam cha. All these are the Kshanikatva, temporary, momentary, Alpatvam, very insignificant, and also Dukkadattvam, not Dukkatvam, Dukkadattvam, Dukkam Dadati, gives only Dukkam. Because it is momentary, therefore it will give Dukkam. Cha Vijnaya, having known Buddha, a wise man, a knowledgeable person, Brahmavit, Teshu, Vishesukeshu, Naramate, you would not revel in those Vishesukas. Ratim na karoti. You will not revel in that, those Vishesukas. Bhukti dashayam api, swayam swadrishtya, Brahmanandamrita rasameva pibati, na bhagyam anusandhate ityartaha. Even at the time of bhakti, the enjoyment, swayam swadrishtya, by his swadrishtya is swasya drishtya, he drinks only the Brahmananda Amritarasam, not Bhagyam Anusandhate. At the time of the Bhukti Dashayamapi. So when he enjoys also, his enjoyment from his standpoint, from his view, it is in the form of that drinking the Amrita Rasam of this Brahmananda. Brahma, which is Ananda Swarupa, it is one's own Swarupa, it is Amritam, indestructible, it is always there, and that Brahmananda Rasam, that alone he drinks, not Bhagyam. He will not connect himself with Anusandate with Bhagyam Sukham. Na Anusandate iti ityartaha. He will not be after Bhagya Sukam. That Brahmananda Amrita Rasam eva pivati tasmin eva ramate. Meaning is Brahmananda Amrita Rasam eva pivati means tasmin eva Brahmani eva Atmani eva ramate Brahmanishtayam eva Atmanishtayam eva tasya ramanam yatu Bhagya Vishayeshu ityartaha. Now the next shloka, let us read. Ayam cha
अयं
अयं च
Shreyo Marga Pratipakshi
श्रेयो
श्रेयो मार्ग
मार्गप्रतिपक्षी
प्रतिपक्षी
Kashtatamo Doshaha
कष्टतमो
कष्टतमो
दोषः
Sarvanartha Prapti Hetuhu
सर्वानर्थप्राप्ति हेतुः
Durnivarascha iti
दुर्निवारश्च इति
Tat Parihare
तत्परिहारे
तत्परिहारे
Yatnadhikyam Kartavyam iti
यत्नाधिक्यं
यत्नाधिक्यं
कर्तव्यम्
कर्तव्यम्
इति
इति
Aha Bhagavan
आह भगवान्
Shaknoti Haiva Yasodham Prak Sharira Vimokshanat
शक्नोति
शक्नोति
हैव
हैवयः
यशोधुं
सोढुम्
शरीरविमोक्षणात्
शरीरविमोक्षणात्
Kamakrodhodbhavam Vegam Sayuktas Sasuki Naraha
कामक्रोधोद्भवं
कामक्रोधोद्भवं
वेगं
वेगं
संयुक्तः
संयुक्तः
सुखी
सुखी नरः.
One of the important and a beautiful shloka, the shloka. My favorite shloka is this. Ayam cha shreyo marga pratipakshi kashtatamaha doshaha sarva anartha prapti hetuhu dur nivarascha iti. So ayam iti, the pronoun is used. Ayam. So I am referring to this Adyantavantaha Dukkha Yonayaha iti doshas which were pointed out. Ayam Kashtatamaha doshaha. This is a Kashtatamaha doshaha. Tamaprataya. This is the most difficult Kashta problem. Why? Because it gives pain, Dukkham, Kashtatamaha doshaha. Therefore, it is Shreyo Marga Pratipakshi. Pratipakshi is opposed. Opposed to what? Shreyo Marga. Preyo Margaha, Shreyo Marga. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametaha Tosamparita Vivinati Diraha. So in Kathopanishad, Dharmaraja gives an introduction to Vedanta by using the words Shreyaha, Preyaha iti. The pursuit of Shreyas and Preyas. The pursuit of that which is good is Shreyas, and that which is pleasant, that is Preyas, Preyo Marga. Now, Shreyo Marga Pratipakshi. Shreyaha Marga, Shreyo Marga. Shreyo Margasya Pratipakshi opposed to or that which is an obstacle to the pursuit of moksha. So, the defect is Shreyo Marga Pratipakshi, and it is Kashtatamaha, extremely painful, gives pain, gives kashtam. Not only that, it is Sarva Anartha Prapti Hetu. It is a cause for all problems. Sarva Anartha. Anartha referring to samsara. Samsara is Anartha. Anarthavan samsaraha, ayam samsaraha. Sarvanartha prapti hetuhu. And it is durnivarascha. Sarvanartha prapti hetuhu. It is a cause for all problems, and also durnivaraha. It is not possible or very difficult to remove, to avoid. It means it cannot be easily managed, handled. It cannot be easily handled. It doesn't mean it cannot be handled. Easily handled. It means a lot of attention, care. The one has to be alert all the time. Iti, iti, iti tat parihare, yatnadikyam kartavyam itiya. Tat parihara to handle, it is extremely difficult to handle. Tat parihare, in handling that, parihara, it is extremely difficult to handle. At the same time, for its parihara, can say that to remove that or for neutralizing that dosha. What is the dosha? He has not said. Ayam, that is said in the shloka. Tat parihare, for neutralizing that, yatnadikyam, more effort. Yatnanam adikyam, yatnadikyam kartavyam should be done. More effort should be made. Iti Bhagavan aha. What is that dosha? Which is Shreya Marga Pratipakshi and Kashtatamaha Sarvarartha Prapti Hetuhu, and it is very difficult to handle. Difficult to handle, not impossible to handle, because Tat Parihare is that. Tat Parihare for its neutralization, for its removal, Yatnadikyam, more effort is required. It means requires lot of effort, lot of alertness. One cannot be negligent. So one has to be vigilant. One has to be vigilant, and one has to be a bhakta, should have a prayerful attitude towards the Lord, seeking His grace always. Therefore, kartavyamaha. So what is that dosha? Kama and krodha, otherwise called ragadvesha. To put together, it's a dosha. These two things alone, whether we call kama, krodha or ragadvesha, are same only. So therefore, this ragadvesha, or likes and dislikes, kama, krodha, this is a dosha, which is shreyo marga pratipakshi, difficult to handle. If one can handle, then that person will be a sukhi. He will be he is a happy person, and in fact, he is kratakrityaha, is a matured person. Saha yuktaha is a person, integrated person. That person is a matured person. That is what Shloka says. Shaknoti haiva yasodhum praksharira vimokshanat. So therefore, Bhagavan says that one has to manage the vega, the force, the impulse, the created by this kama and krodha. Otherwise, ragadvesha, kama, krodhot, bhavam, vegam, the force. They are so powerful. They put more pressure on the person, and the person would not be able to resist, and it goes by its flow and carried over in this ocean of samsara. So therefore, that vega one has to handle. That requires a lot of courage, diligence, requires a lot of alertness, prayer, etc. All these are required. Ishvara Anugraha also important. That is why prayer. So therefore, this kama krodha, otherwise ragadvesha. Pujitamaji always says this, Bhagavad Gita is the psychology of ragadvesha, handling ragadvesha. Because samsara is nothing but this ragadvesha is samsara. Therefore, Gita, the teaching of the Gita is The whole psychology is presented in terms of ragadvesha. If a person can manage or learn to manage the pressure born of ragadveshas, it means the ragadvesha cannot go, completely cannot go, but it is manageable. Durnivarasya, but it can be manageable. If it is managed, then the person is sukhi. And also alertness is given because it is managed, therefore one should not be complacent. It can raise its head at any time. One should not lower one's guard. Always one has to be alert throughout the life, manage the pressure created by this kama and krodha. And this advice is most extremely important for a sannyasi. And if the person lives, then that person is an integrated person, is put together, is a happy person, but he is the real karma yogi. The sukham obtained when doesn't come under the influence of raga dvesha itself is a big sukham. The person manages to handle the raga dvesha, that itself is a big thing that requires the attitude of a yogi, karma yogi. That is prasada buddhi. Only when the person can handle raga dvesha, then only he can do shravanam as mananam and nididhyasanam. Otherwise, meditation and all is not possible. When a person come under the spell of raga dvesha, the person is not with himself. He would not be happy. Always under the pressure of this kama and krodha. So, therefore, there is no jnanam possible and nididhyasanam is ruled out. So, therefore, one has to, as said in the 15th chapter, always just having the sword of asanga chattane dridena chitva, the shastram, viveka, vairagya, all this, the person has to be alert. So one has to be watchful. And the psychology of this, how this karma, krodha influence a person and causes spiritual death has been told already in the second chapter, which we have seen. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sankasteshu pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamat krodho bhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoga. Sammoga smriti vibhrama. Smriti bhramshat. Buddhinashad. Spiritual destruction vinashyati. The person is not physically destroyed. But whatever effort he has put so far, everything goes for a big six. Gone. So therefore, one has to be highly alert. There is no respite in spiritual life. There is no holiday in spiritual life. Swami Brahmananda, disciple of Ramakrishna Paramsa, says, therefore one has to always guard against this kama and krodha. So that Bhagavan says here, yaha shaknoti, one who is able to. Shaknoti, when we have the word shaknoti, you will see tuman pratyaya also. Pratyanta shabda. So shaknoti, one is able to. Able to what? Sodum. Sodum is sagdatu, tumananta rupam. Sagdatu, sagvahoho, that upada akara becomes okara, not dirga. The dode lopaha, dralope purvasi dirga anaha we apply, but here for sagdatu and vagdatu, it is not dirgatum, it is akara replaced by okara, 63112, if I remember the sutra. So that sodum, one is able to handle, master, manage the pressure caused by ragadvesha, kama, krodho, bhavam, bhegam, prak, sharira, vimokshanat, before the fall of the sharira, vimokshanam. Either vimokshanam could be death or it could be the abhimana with the sharira. Abhimana with the sharira is gone. When it will go? When jnanam happens. Dega abhimana. So therefore, either it is physically gone. Ajnani dies as a spiritual. It's a person is a sadhaka, but he is not a jnani. Ajnani dies. Being ajnani, he dies, but pursuing the Shastra Adhyayanam, person dies, it's okay, but not come under the influence of Kama and Krodha. Or Prakshari Vimoksha, when the person is released from the identification with the Shariramana Sangata, that is Jnani, Prakshari Vimokshanat, because after that, when there is no Abhimana with the Shariram bond due to Jnanam, then the person that then the person would not be dictated by Raga Dvesha, because Jnanam is has got the ultimate God, Jnanam. God is G-U-A-R-D, God, protection, ultimate shield. Jnanam is there. If the person is an Ajnani, then till the release from the Sharira, that is death. So whichever meaning we take. So one who manages the pressure, the force created by Kama and Krodha, that person is Yuktaha. He alone is a Karma Yogi. In fact, he is a Karma Yogi. One who is a Karma Yogi also alone can be a Jnana Yogi. He can only do Nididhyasanam. That person alone is Sukhi Naraha. He is happy person. Otherwise, there is no happiness. Coming under the influence of Kama, Krodha, and being happy is ruled out. Kama will take you for a ride, and when it is not fulfilled, it will create anger. Then anger comes, the person is no more available. Then he cannot be Yuktaha, he is Ayuktaha, and he will be Dukhi. Therefore, Naraha will be Naraha as long as he manages his Kama, Krodha. Otherwise, he becomes Va Naraha. Naraha Va iti Va Naraha only. So therefore, the real success lies in managing Kama, Krodha, Raga, Dvesha. And it has to be managed here alone while living. So as one, till the death, if one can manage to handle this Raga, Dvesha, it is not that it is not now and it will not come later. It may. That's why one has to be vigilant. So therefore, one should not ignore. That is the idea. One should not ignore it. One should not ignore it. So because Kama and Krodha can take any form, in the form of a very sukshma vritti or very feeble vritti can come and it can magnify. Therefore, one has to nip it in the very bud itself. That is why the second chapter also, he said, Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsaha, there itself one has to cut the process. So therefore, as long as the person has Dega Vimana and is able to manage Raga Dvesha, that person will be Sukhi, will be happy. So now, how do we manage the pressure created by Raga Dvesha? Means not allowing them to influence me and influence my free will. I have got free will. So not allowing them to dictate me, not allowing them to usurp my free will, not allowing them to create any reactions in me. That is what management is. So Kama and Krodha is there. Of course, they are powerful. They will gain strength only when you lose the power. So only when you lose the values for the values. Only when you become adharmika, adharmi, only when you violate a dharma, violation of dharma is itself is influence of Kama and Krodha. Kama only. So therefore, whether do I follow values, whether do I stick to the way the Shastram recommends me to follow, if one pursues the prescriptions of the Shastra, one would not be carried by Kama Krodha. The intellectual lethargy, that is biggest obstacle. So should not take even a small thing for Granted, it may get magnified and occupy our buddhi. So therefore, all the time we have to be watchful. That is the only way to handle. It's managing. So there is no relaxation possible. That is why the Vega, the word is used. It will gain strength slowly. So the only way to manage is to be vigilant all the time. Be prayerful. Prayerful attitude also. This the ahankara, when it is, when the influence of ahankara is more, that ahamiti, that ahankara born due to ignorance, then the Sharanagati, prayer, and all these things will not come. Therefore, one has to have always the humble disposition, the humility, accept the fact that Kama Krodha are powerful, and submission to the Lord, Sharanagati, being prayerful, by that only it can be handled. So it is not one time job all the time. That's why it is attitude, purely by changing one's attitude, deliberately bringing a changing attitude. Alone one can handle this raga dvesha, otherwise not. That is why karma yoga. So how to manage raga dvesha? Be a karma yogi. What are the qualities of a karma yogi? Already we saw. The karma yogi takes up karma, whether he likes or not, it is to be done, he does. Because it is ordered by the Ishvara. Ishvara has ordered through the Shastram that it should be done. Therefore, without any complaint, one has to do. One has to be sincere, a servant to in executing the order of the Ishvara. And what Ishvara orders, if it is to your liking, then there is no problem. If it is not, if it is to be done, it is to be done. So therefore, that is only means. That is why yuktaha. Yuktaha in itself, the word implies the person is a karma yogi. So karma yogi alone can be happy. Karma yogi discovers the happiness because of the absence or because of the less influence of this common program because he handles them. And later, when the same karma yogi becomes a jnani, then this will lose its influence. Kama and Krodha will lose its influence. As long as they are the power to influence you, you have to guard yourself. So that is what the shloka is. Shloka says, now let us read the Bhashyam. Shaknoti
शक्नोति
शक्नोति
utsahate
उत्सहते
ihaiva
सहते
jivanneva
इहैव
इहैव जीवन्नेव
yaha sodum prasahitum
यः
यः
सोढुं
सोढुं
प्रसहितुं
प्रसहितुम्
prakpurvam
प्राक्पूर्वम्
प्राक्पूर्वम्
sharira vimokshanaat amaranaat ityartah.
शरीरविमोक्षणात्
शरीरविमोक्षणात्
आमरणात्
आमरणात्
इत्यर्थः
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 शक्नोति उत्सहते शब्दातु आत्मनेपदी सहते सहेते सहन्ते उत्सहते saganam is enduring tolerating but here who is able to sahate manage handle shaknoti able to one who can iha eva here itself jivan eva while living not maranantaram while living you have all the sense objects around you influencing you all the time because shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha and we have the sense organs. The sense organs always will be engaging with sense objects. So therefore, ikaiva eva, when sense organs will be active, when the person is alive. So jivan eva. So sansparshajaha said no, because of that, sanyoga. So that influence, yaha sodum, prasagitum, sagdatu, prapuraka dhatu, maybe upasarga is there. Sagdatu is, as you know, it is anid. Bhashikara says, with the pra upasarga, it is said. Sagitum, prag, before, avyaya. Sharir vimokshanat, that's why prag is there. Prag, sharir vimokshanat, in terms of time, it is kale. Kale, therefore Panchami. Dig yoge Panchami. Dig is direction in terms of physical direction or in terms of time also. Amaranath. Amaranath is A Maryada Rabividi up to Maranam. Not after up to Maranam is till the person dies. It is not exclude the Maranam till Maranam, because at the time of Maranam also, if the person is influenced by Kama and Krodha, the last thought determines the next Janma. So include Maranam also. Abhividi Amaranath Marana Paryantam until death ityartaha. So one has to manage Kama Krodha up to the end of life, or up to the fall of the Shariram, Sharir Vimoksha, not up to the end of this life. Till the or manage them till the fall of the Shariram. Okay, then why Maranam is set as the limit? Because Marana Sima Karanam
सीमाकरणम्
Jivataha Avashyam Bhavihi
जीवतः अवश्यं
अवश्यं
भाविः
भाविः
कामक्रोधोद्भवो वेगः
कामक्रोधोद्भवो वेगः
कामक्रोधोद्वेगः
अनन्तनिमित्तवान् हि
अनन्तनिमित्तवान्
अनन्तनिमित्तवान् हि
सः इति
सः इति
यावत् मरणं तावत्
यावत्
यावत्
मरणं
मरणं
तावत्
तावत्
न विस्रम्भनीयः इत्यर्थः।
न
न
विस्रम्भणीयः
विस्रम्भणीयः इत्यर्थः।
इत्यर्थः।
Maranasima Karanam, setting the Maranam, the death, as a limit for handling the Raga Dvesha. Why? Because Jivataha referring to the person, which is Shatranta, Jivanto, Jivantaha. Shashti Vivakti, Jivataha, referring to the person who lives. For a person who lives, that is for a living person. Avashyam Bhavihi. Avashyam Bhavi means it is inevitable, unavoidable, Avashyam Bhavi. It is for sure, it will be there. Inevitable, unavoidable. He prasiddhe arte he. What? Kama krodod bhavo vegaha. Kamascha krodascha kama krodayoho. Kodabhyam bhavaha utpannaha, the vegaha, the pressure, the impulse created by kama krodha is avashyam bhavi. It is inevitable only for a person who lives, for a living person. Therefore, only death is set as the limit. Varnasima karanam, that was making death as the limit. Sima is limit, boundary, border. So therefore, why why the Vega, the impulse created by Kama Krodha is inevitable? Because Ananta Nimittavan. Because it has Nimitta, the cause. Anantani Nimittani Yasya Tat. Ananta Nimittani Yasya Asti iti. Because Ananta Nimittavat Shabda, Takaranta. Ananta Nimittavan, Ananta Nimittavanto, Ananta Nimittavantaha. Which is Ananta Nimittavan? This Vegaha has got Ananta Nimitta. Nimitta is cause. Ananta Hetavaha. Ananta is many causes, reasons, bases are there for this. Kama Krodha can be born due to any reason. So many reasons are there. Therefore, we cannot say which is. That is why one has to be vigilant, one has to be a karma yogi, that have that attitude always. Can be, because this Kama Krodha has got nimitta, the cause, which are ananta. Could be anything. Many are there. He, saha iti, therefore, therefore saha referring to that person. Therefore, yavat malam tavat na visrambaniyaha. As long as the person lives, visrambaniyaha means one should not be relaxed, one should not be negligent, one should not be careless, one should not take things for granted. Na visrambaniyaha, aniyapartaya, srambadatu, na visravi purvaka. Visrambaniyaha, you cannot relax yourself. Therefore, there is no relaxation in spiritual life. Relaxation means it is laziness. Spiritual laziness. Spiritual laziness. If a person is physically lazy, is one thing. Alasyam hi manushyanam sharirastam nripuhu. The physical laziness is the greatest enemy. That is one type of laziness. Spiritual laziness is another great danger. Physical laziness can be that lazy because the problem or the effect of the physical laziness, the physical laziness, you may lose something that is can be gained once you wake up. But spiritual laziness, if you become spiritual lazy, and once kama krodha, the influence of them takes over you, then you will see yourself completely in a different situation, different place, completely lost, from which to come back is not easy. To come back from spiritual laziness because you have lost the time opportunity, that is possible. Physical laziness. Spiritual laziness is more dangerous than physical laziness. Physically, if you're physically lazy, of course the loss is there, but that can be managed and that the loss you can make up. But spiritual laziness, in the stream of samsara, you will be carried over somewhere else, from which again to come back is not easy. So it is Maya karyam, Mama Maya Duratteya. Maya is so powerful. Agatita Katana, Patiyasi Maya. So again, you have to start. So therefore, it is more difficult. Therefore, one has to be highly alert. Therefore, sadhana is alertness, being alert. Alert also doesn't mean you get tensed up. Alert means just be watchful. You watch yourself. As we watch over what we do, what we eat, similarly also we have to watch what we think, what influence us. So that is the only sadhana. Therefore, na visrambaniyaha. Bhashikara says, Yavat Maranam Tavat. Very clearly says, that's what Shloka Bhagavan also says, Yavat Maranam Tavat na Visrambaniyaha. There is no respite in spiritual life. Then, Kamaha. Next line.
कामः
कामः
Indriya Gochara Prapte Ishte
इन्द्रियगोचरप्राप्ते
इन्द्रियगोचरप्राप्ते
इष्टे
इष्टे
Ishte Vishayeshu Yamane
इष्टे
इष्टे
विषये
विषये
श्रूयमाणे
श्रूयमाणे
Smaryamane Va
स्मर्यमाणे
स्मर्यमाणे वा
वा
Anubhute Sukhaheto
अनुभूते
अनुभूते
सुखहेतौ
सुखहेतौ
Ya Gardhihi
या
या
गर्दिः
गर्भिः
Trishna
तृष्णा
तृष्णा
Saha Kamaha.
सह कामः
कामः
Acharya defines what is kama. Definition of kamaha. Kamaha kaha. You can note this is the definition of kamaha. Can be memorized this sentence. Indriya gochara prapte gishte vishaye shruyamane smaryamane va anubhute sukhaheto ya gardihi trishta saha kamaha. So ya gardihi. Gardihi from the gridha dhatu. Craving, longing. Trishna also is that. So thirst, craving for an object, a person. that most of the love is only this Trishna, it's Kama only. Every love is, of course, is conditional. And this love, the relationship is Trishna, it is Kamaha, the craving. So when it exceeds, that person is out of control. Therefore, Ya Gardihi, that craving, the Trishna, the thirst for the object or person or situation, Saha Kamaha, that is the desire, the longing, Anubhute, that is the which is that which is experienced with regard to the objects or object or person or situation, Anubhute, which is the cause for Sukha Hetu, cause for the happiness. So Anubhute Sukha Hetu. Anubhute Smaryamane, Shuyamane, Smaryamane, when it is Shuyamane, when it is heard, or when it is remembered, when the objects, what you like, when the name of the object is taken, object or person, even the person whom you like, when you heard Shuyamane, or when it is remembered, the object or the person, only hearing, just remembering and hearing. So, Ishte Vishaye Shuyamane, Sparyamane, and Anubhute, when it is Anubhute, when it is experienced in any form, then it becomes Sukha Hetau Bhavati. It is cause for the Sukha Hetuhu. That is Kama Indriya Gochara Prapte. Indriya Gochara, when the sense organs, as that is when Kama Indriya Gochara Prapte, when it has reached or attained the range of sense organs. It means the desire, on seeing the object, the desire comes. So the desire for with regard to the objects which are experienced by the sense organs, and that causes happiness when it is heard, or when it is remembered, or when it is experienced, Anubhute, then Ya Gardihi Trishna, that Gardihi, that craving is there for that Vishaya, that thing, that is called Kamaha iti. So, therefore, Kamaha is Ya Gardihi Trishna Saha Kamaha, that longing, that craving which is there, that is Kamaha. So, Kama is Trishna Gardihi. That will be there for those Vishayas for which you have either experienced Indriya Gochara Prapte, Ishte. Indriya Gochara Prapte means Indriya has come to your perception, Indriya Gochara Prapte, Ishta Vishaya, that is Vishaya, when it has come under the purview, the range of sense organs, that is when the object is perceived, or when it is heard, or when it is remembered, or when it is Anubhute, when it is experienced. So Indriya Gochara Prapte Ishta Vishaye, then Shruyamane Svaryavane Anubhute, and that becomes the cause for the Sukha Hetu, cause for happiness. So therefore the object can be the object of Kama when in three situations. When the Ishta Vishaya is Indriya Gochara Prapte, when it has come under the range of sense organs, or when it is heard, or when it is remembered. Three situations. In three situations, there could be the craving for the objects or personal situations, whatever it is, craving for a thing. in three situations. Indriya gochara prapte atava shuyamane anubhute ishta vishaye. That is the cause for sukha, hetuhu, cause for happiness. And that happiness you want all the time. Therefore, ya gardihi, ya trishna asti, that craving is there. With regard to that experienced object, which is the cause for happiness, that is the desire. And that desired object, that object create desire, either when it has come under the range of your sense organs or when it is heard or when it is experienced. So in three situations, the object can become an object of your karma craving in these three situations. And these three situations, in these three situations, when you come into contact with the objects of your desire, that causes happiness. The object causes happiness. It doesn't stop there. Ya gardihi, Trishna bhavati, longing for that, more and more, dil mange more, then that is called kamaha. So the definition of kama is given. Then what is krodaha? Krodha definition is given that we will see the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಗುರೂಜಿ.